Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm very excited for this video. It's going to be just a little college advice video for me to you. But before I get into the rest of the video, I just wanted to ask you guys to please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. So I'm just going to give y'all a little bit of like information about me and like what my college experience was like. I graduated high school and went to a community college, local community college. And then I transferred to East Carolina University, and I just graduated this past spring. So I just graduated like a month ago. So yeah, I'm fresh out of college. This video might be a little bit all over the place because I didn't really think about like my answers ahead of time. I wrote down a few points in my notes and I asked you guys to send me specific things that you wanted advice on my Instagram story. So thank y'all for doing that. But I didn't really think about what I was gonna say about each thing ahead of time, just because I wanted everything to be really like off the top of my head and like authentic advice. I didn't want it to be like scripted or like stuff that I had already thought about before I came into it, you know what I'm saying? So what's first? Okay, so the first thing that I wrote down in my notes is that everybody is on their own path, and I think that's like the most important piece of advice to go into college with, is that everybody is really on their own path. Some people go from a community college to a university. Some people go straight to a university. Some people stay at community college for like 4, 5, maybe 6 years, I don't know. Some people go to a university and stay there for like 5 or 6 years. Some people go from a university and back to a community college. I know people that have done that. So it's just important to like make sure you understand that everybody's on their own path. So don't like compare yourself to your peers or like to your friends or whatever, because I mean, I know people that graduated from a university in 3 years, and I was at a community college for 2 years, and then I was at a university for 3 years. So I was a 5th year college student, and that was something that I was really like embarrassed, not like embarrassed about, but it was something that I thought about. I was like, oh my god, like what are people gonna think about me? Like I'm supposed to be graduating in 4 years. People are gonna think I'm dumb. People are gonna think I'm like, I don't know, I really don't know. And honestly, like no one even cares. First of all, like I don't know why I think I'm so important where people actually care that I didn't graduate college in 4 years, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that serious. So like take your time in college and really learn what you can, and just do you and do what's best for you. And that's another thing I wanted to say, is that there's no shame in community college. I went to community college. I loved it there. It was great. Save yourself some money. You're going to take the exact same classes that you do at a university. So if that's what's best for you, go to a community college or go right to a university. Just do what's best for you. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know how I'm going to get through this video without having a heat stroke. Okay, so the next piece of advice I have is for people that have not picked their major yet. I just wanted to like squeeze this in just a little bit. So if you haven't picked your major yet and you don't know what you want to do in life or what you want to major in, that's a stressful thing. So I understand. Basically, I went my whole entire life thinking I want to major in elementary education and I want to be an elementary school teacher and I'm going to decorate my classroom cute, and that's just what I want to do in life. And I thought that literally all my life. Went through the first 2 years at college, at a community college that I was at, and the second I transferred to East Carolina University, I decided that I am gonna have a nervous breakdown because I do not want to do this anymore. Like this is not what I want to do. I want to change my major. I don't know what I want to change it to, but I cannot do elementary education. It's just not for me. I can't do it. So I changed my major, and just if you're wondering, I changed it to recreational therapy. Thank God, because I love my major and I'm so happy I did that. But I just know what you're going through if you don't know what you want to major in or if you want to change your major. So my advice to you if you want to change your major is do it. And my advice to you if you don't know what you want to major in and you don't know what you want to do in life is, first of all, go on your college's website or the college you want to go to's website and go to their list of majors and just scroll through the list and write down things that maybe interest you, maybe things that you don't exactly know what it is, but you're kind of like you might be into it, just write that down and make you a little list of things that your college offers, and take your little list and research each specific major that you have written down of things that you might be interested in. Go on YouTube, watch videos about what it is, just like do your research. Also go like into the workplace and shadow and volunteer and just learn that way, and just to see like if that's something that you would be interested in, and I can guarantee you'll figure it out. Also listen to your gut, because your gut's always right. Okay, what's next? I have on this list go to class. So I definitely am an advocate for going to class. I know a lot of people skip class, and I like obviously have skipped class in my day, like seriously a lot. But my advice would be to go to class, because obviously like the things the professors are talking about are stuff that you need to know, and there's stuff that you're going to be tested on. So I would definitely go to class, take notes, all that type of stuff. And also go to class because sometimes they give you pop quizzes. It sounds scary, but like if you aren't there and they give a pop quiz and you get a 0 for it because you're not there, then that would go on your grade for the class. You know what I'm saying? And also sometimes they give extra credit stuff if you're in class. So my advice would be to go to class. You guys don't even know how many times I didn't go to class and they gave like extra credit, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have gone, because I would have gotten extra credit and it would have helped me a lot at the end of the semester, when I could have got those extra points tacked on to my grade and made a higher grade. And obviously you can take days to skip, but don't make it a consistent habit. Just like skip when you really need to, or like when you're sick or something. But yeah, I think you should go to class. I'm a big advocate for just going to class. Okay, so my next thing is to make connections with students in your classes. And this is something I did a lot. So the very first day of the new semester, I would literally like scope the class out, and I would be like, okay, like who's in here? Who can I start talking to? Who can I make friends with? And I would literally be like, hey, like what's your number? Like we're gonna help each other out in this class, like for real. And that's what I would literally do, and I do it for every class. I remember specifically for chemistry, I literally went in there. The very first day I sat beside people I had no idea who they were, and I looked to my left and my right, and I was like, yo, like this class is gonna be like really hard. And they were like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it. I was like, me too, like we should get each other's number and like start helping each other out. And they were like, all right, like I'm down. And we started our little study group. So definitely make connections with people in your classes. It will help you out in the long run, and you could like study with them. You can make study groups. You can make group me and like build a bigger study group. And yeah, especially for really hard classes like chemistry or anatomy or classes like that, I would definitely recommend making connections with people in your class. Okay, so next thing I wrote on my list is trust your academic advisor. Like you're all going to be given an academic advisor. Trust your academic advisor, but take it upon yourself to research the classes you need and the order that you need them in, and the order that's going to be like beneficial to you. Basically, I've had multiple situations where I trust my academic advisor. I did not do the research myself, and my academic advisor screwed me over. And that has happened multiple times with almost every single advisor that I have ever had, and I've heard horror stories about it from other people. I can tell you some horror stories myself. So basically what I'm trying to say is take it upon yourself to look at the classes that you need and make sure that you go into the meetings with your advisor, have everything written down yourself, but also take what they have to say into consideration, because I mean, you should trust them. I'm not saying don't trust them, but take some initiative and like do it yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? I hope that made sense. This video is all over the place, but I hope I'm making sense. Okay, this has to do with professors and office hours and stuff like that. I wrote down meet with your professors, go to their office hours. Okay, so I'm a huge advocate for like on the first day, especially if you are about to take a class that you're really nervous about, or if you've heard is like really hard, or even if you think you're gonna like ace the class, it doesn't matter. I always think you should just meet with your professors. Like on the very first day of each semester, I would go to your professor after class and say like, hey, my name is Shelley Peden. I'm in a 9 a.m. History class. I just wanted to let you know like what my name is. I want to introduce myself. I'm excited to take your class, and just basically like let them know who you are, because if like something crazy happens and you need them to like help you out later, or maybe the class is really overwhelming for you and you really need some advice, it helps you to have introduced yourself at the beginning and to meet with them maybe throughout the year, like if you ever have a question, because it really makes you look good and it makes the professors know that you care about their class and that you want to succeed. This is kind of like a misconception about professors, I feel, is that they are like mean and like grumpy like old people, and some of them are, but like they are there for you and they really want you to succeed. Like I know all of my professors, like they were really nice people and they really wanted me to like do well in their class, and like they appreciated when I went to their office and I was like, okay, I know you just went over this and I might sound really dumb right now, but I'm gonna need you to explain this again because I just don't get it. Or I really did bad on that last test, like what did I do wrong? How can I study differently? I really need you to help me out here because I want to do well in your class. And they were always really appreciative of that. And also, this is another thing, maybe you need them to write you a recommendation letter further down the road, like when you start applying for jobs or for internships or whatever. It really helps to establish a relationship with your professors so that later on down the road it can help you out in the class, help you out later on down the road. It's just an all-around good thing. I can promise you that you will not regret doing that. Also, another thing about professors, like literally 95% of my professors were like the chillest people I've ever met in my life, and like I'm friends with them on Facebook now, and like they're really the best. And also, it's literally their job to help you out. Okay, my camera died. But that pretty much wraps up the stuff that I had written down in my notepad that I had advice on for you guys. So now I'm going to get into the questions that y'all had for me on my Instagram story. I asked y'all to leave me any questions that you had or anything that you needed advice on that you wanted me to like get into in this video. So thank y'all for doing that. Follow me on Instagram at SuperShelley3. I'm always posting on my Instagram story and we can talk, and I always answer my DMs. Someone says how to find real friends. So I found like some of like my best friends in college and people that I'm literally going to be friends with for the rest of my life. So my advice would be to not like worry about making friends in college. Like God will put people in your path that need to be there, and he will put you in people's path if you need to be there. I never had this experience, but if you are going in as a freshman, because I transferred in, I went to a community college first, so I never had the experience of living in a dorm. But if you are living in a dorm, that's a really good opportunity to make friends. Everybody's in the same boat. They're all freshmen just like you. Go from room to room on your hall and like introduce yourself. Let them know like I live in room 105 or something, and just like introduce yourself and like, you know, put yourself out there. Also, you could join clubs on campus. There are a lot of really good opportunities for clubs. I made a lot of friends through people in my classes as well, so definitely put yourself out there in your classes. And then I never joined Greek life, but Greek life is also an option if you want to join a sorority or fraternity. I know a lot of people that have made their best friends through their sorority, so Greek life is a good option for that as well. A lot of people want to know about like advice on meeting people. I think that I covered that. When to take graduation pics, job searches, etc. You can schedule your graduation pictures like right after you get your cap and gown. That's when I did mine. I got my cap and gown, and then I pretty much just messaged somebody on Instagram that took good pictures, and I was like, you want to take my pictures? And they're like, yeah. So I did that. And job searches, you can start your job search your senior year. I know a lot of people that had already had a job lined up before they even graduated. So I would say start your job search your senior year. Do internships, shadow, do all that type of stuff, and just like figure out what works best for you. Or you can wait till you graduate, and like if you have to take a certification, take your certification exam, and then start applying for jobs. Or go ahead and do it beforehand, like right before you graduate. Someone wants to know living off campus advice. So I lived off campus, obviously in an apartment, my last 3 years of college. And my biggest advice, I lived at the same place for all 3 years as well. My advice personally, a lot of people might not agree with this, but oh God, I'm about to sneeze. I would say find an apartment that is close by campus. My apartment that I lived at the Province, by the way, in Greenville. and it was literally right across campus. I never had to take the bus. I literally just walked across the street every day to go to class, and it was amazing. And I was right there, like in the circle of everything. I could walk downtown, I could walk to campus, I could, like, it was the best. I had never had to worry about taking the bus. So my advice would be to definitely find somewhere close by campus. Someone says, how do you balance grades, having a job, and social life? So this might sound really cliche, but I would say just to prioritize everything. I think your grades should be your top priority. And like if you're studying and your friends are like, hey, like let's hang out or whatever, it's okay to say no. Like, I do not want to hang out right now. I can't hang out. I have a really big test tomorrow. And so just like prioritize what you have to do. Also, you could plan your day out. Like, I liked to take a notebook and plan out, okay, from 9 to 10 I've got class, from 10 to 11 I'm gonna like chill and take a break, from 11 to like 1 I'm gonna study, you know what I'm saying? So just prioritize, like I have work from 3 to 5, whatever your situation is. I would just prioritize like that, like write everything down. And also, like, it's okay to say no when your friends want to hang out. Just like put your grades first and they'll understand. So a lot of people want to know like advice on like how to study and the best way to study. So I would say, for me, okay, there are specific classes that I took that I did really well in, and classes that I didn't do as well as I could have, and I will tell you the difference. I know like literally specific differences in ways I studied for classes that I did well in, and classes that I studied, or in ways that I studied for classes that I didn't do well in. So I'll explain that now. My mom always told me to go over a little bit every single day. And in my head I was like, I'm not doing that, you know what I'm saying? But when I got to college, when I got to a university, I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna go through this every day. I'm gonna like take my mom's advice and I'm gonna do this every day. So for certain classes that I felt like I was like doing good in, or classes that I really didn't prioritize, I would be like, okay, like I'm not going through the notes we took in class today because it's like easy, I understand it, I don't need to go over that. So I wouldn't go over it, and then I'd cram for the test. Like maybe like a day or two before I would like start studying and I'd cram for the test, and I wouldn't do as well. But for classes that I did really well in, every single day, like I'm not lying to you, take my advice on this. Every single day I'd go to class, we'd take notes, or they'd do a PowerPoint, and I'd come home every single day and I would read over the notes and I'd read over the PowerPoint and familiarize myself with what we did that day. And I'd do that for like all 3 classes that I had that day. And then the next day we'd go over different information, and then I'd come home and I'd read over the information that we did that day. And then closer and closer to the test, I would start making myself study guides, because not every single teacher gives you like a study guide. So I had to make my own study guides a lot of the time. But I would make my own study guide, and I would not wait till the last minute. I would not cram. I would start like a week before, maybe 2 weeks before. Like for anatomy or chemistry, that's something you're gonna have to study, like study every single day. But for classes that were like a little bit more lower intensity than chemistry or anatomy, this is what I would do. I'd study a little bit every day. I'd go over my notes a little bit every day, and then maybe a week or two before, maybe like a week before the test, I'd make myself a study guide and I would study it every single day. Like every night before I'd go to bed, I would study, I would highlight, and then the next day it wouldn't be as hard because my head was already familiar with the information, because I was going through it little by little up until that point. So does that make sense? That's what I did, and that's what I feel like helped me the most for studying. Someone says adjusting to living with someone. Okay, so I never lived in a dorm, so I don't know, like, I don't really have any advice for living like really close to a person in a little tiny room. But I did live with 3 roommates every single time. I always had a 3-bedroom apartment, me and 2 other girls. My advice, this is gonna sound really dumb, but do your own dishes, clean up after yourself, take the trash out when you see that it needs to be taken out. If you guys have like a system or whatever, like this person takes the trash out this day, this person takes the trash out on this day, and this person takes the trash out on this day, that's fine, like do your thing. But personally, I think that if you see the trash needs to be taken out, take the dang trash out. If you see the dishes need to be done, do the dishes. Like, if they're not your dishes, just go ahead and do them anyway. That's just my personal thing. I would rather avoid an argument and like clean everything up and like do the dishes, just because this is something that like roommates argue about. Just go ahead and clean up your stuff, clean up like their stuff. If you want to like tell them like, hey, I'm tired of cleaning up your stuff, put your crap up, then you can. And like I would obviously recommend doing that, like tell them how you feel about it, but don't like argue about something that's really dumb. If like there's a little dish out and it's bothering you that much that someone else left out, just go ahead and clean it off and put it up and do it yourself. That's just my personal opinion. Like, clean up after yourself, and like don't be so like, oh, I took the trash out the last 5 times so you can do it now. Just take the trash out. Or if you want to say something to them like I've really taken the trash out like the last 10 times, like I'm gonna need you to like pull some weight around here, definitely do that. But also don't be like a little blank about it. Just avoid the argument. That's just my opinion. You know, some people are more direct than I am, but I would just say, you're living with them, the last thing you need is drama, and the last thing you need is to hate the person that you live with. Just suck it up, and if it's bothering you, then do it. It obviously doesn't bother them. So you don't want to end up hating the person you're living with. So that's my advice. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, how to stay grounded. So this is something that I really wanted to talk about. Okay, so my advice on staying grounded would be to, first of all, don't forget about your family. This is a really like common thing that I've seen with people in college. They are all the time prioritizing random as freak people that they meet in college and they're friends at the time, and they like completely neglect their family, the people that literally love them the most and that are probably paying for their college, and the people that like care about them the most in the world, and they like never come home to see their family, blah blah blah. I'm not for that. I think you should always come home, see your family, see your mom. Like, don't neglect your family. That is going to keep you grounded. So that's my number one piece of advice for staying grounded. Hi, I'm a mess right now, but I just wanted to throw in right here another piece of advice I have for staying grounded is, there's really bad glare. Another piece of advice I have for staying grounded is obviously keeping God first. I think that daily prayer and the daily reading of your Bible, and even if you wanted to add in like a devotion in addition to your Bible time and prayer time, I think that doing that daily will keep you grounded. Just wanted to throw that in. Okay, back to the video. Another thing that I would say, and I want to throw in right here, there's nothing wrong with going out, in my personal opinion, there's nothing wrong with going out in college and having a good time, as long as you are going to stay true to yourself and going to stay true to your morals, your values, and who you are at your core as a person. I'm the type of person where people around me don't influence me. Like, I know who I am as a person. If you try to get me to do something that I don't want to do, I'm not going to do it. If you try to get me to go somewhere that I don't want to go, I'm not going. Or if I want to go somewhere but you don't want to go, then I'm going to go anyway. I'm not the type of person that is influenced by people. So I would just say, stay grounded by, like, don't like be a people pleaser and be cool like in the moment. Like, stay true to yourself and who you are as a person, because like I just think that's so dumb to try to be a different person in college around people who literally don't even care about you. My main piece of advice is just like stay true to who you are, and there's a balance. It's not like all or nothing. You can like have a good time and go out in college, but also like know your limits, know like what you will and will not allow yourself to do, because like at the end of the day, like all you have is your reputation and your integrity and like who God like knows that you are, and who you are as a person. So like don't try to be anybody else. Like, be true to yourself and who you are, because it's really not worth it. Be true to yourself and be true to who you are. Okay. Someone asked how to stay on task and stay organized. So I would say to take notes in every single class, make your own study guides, type out your PowerPoints. That's another thing that helped me. Type out your PowerPoints. Some people like to write their notes with paper and pencil. Some people like to type their notes. I would recommend that you just like find your groove and find what works best for you. If you like to type your notes, then that's good. If you like to write your notes, that's good. If you like to write your notes and then type them out like later when you get home, that's also good. Just find your thing. And then I would also say keep your notes. Don't like throw your notebook away at the end or delete your stuff. I would also say utilize Google Docs. If there's one thing that I wish I would have done in college, is to like keep all my stuff and keep all of my notes so that I could look back on them. And I know that sounds really weird, but especially the stuff I did my senior year, that's actually going to help me. For Google Doc, what I would say is make like year 1. And with inside that Google Doc, I would say semester 1, semester 2. With inside semester 1, have your list of classes. And with inside those lists of classes, have like for history, all your history notes. For math, all your math notes. For whatever, all your notes for each subject. And that's going to keep you really organized, and it's going to also not take up space on your computer because you're just going to have it in a Google Doc, and that'll be there forever. Someone said advice for international students. I don't really know. I don't know, to be honest. I'm really sorry. I don't have advice for that. Where to get internships in the summer for recreational therapy. So I don't know if this is true, but I heard that it was a little bit easier to get internships for rec therapy in the summer. So that's a good thing. And also I would say to figure out the population that you want to work with. If you want to work with like geriatrics, pediatrics, behavioral health, people with disabilities, whatever population you're interested in working with, figure that out. And then there's a lot of good places. You can intern at hospitals. Oftentimes the internships at the hospitals for rec therapy are on the behavioral health unit. You could intern at nursing homes. There are a lot of options, so definitely do your research. Also, don't be scared to like just flat out call someone that you're interested in interning with, or email them, because they like people that are gonna take initiative. So keep that in mind as well. Do I like evening classes or morning classes best? I personally like evening classes best because I can't get up in the morning. But I know a lot of people like to have their morning classes like at 8, 9, 10 a.m. and go to class in the morning and then get it over with and like have the rest of their day. So I personally like evening classes best because I like to sleep in. But I guess it's just like whatever works best for you. Why did you choose ECU for therapy? Did you have any other options? Like I said at some point in the video, I didn't really know what I wanted to major in, and I just kind of chose recreational therapy off the top of my head. So I really hadn't done much research about it prior to choosing that. But I am planning on going to grad school for occupational therapy, just if y'all wanted to know. There's also other things. There's speech therapy, there's physical therapy. There's a lot of options at ECU. Did I have other options? I guess like you do have other options because there's a lot of other good schools in the state for like therapy based majors. I think personally ECU is a really good school to go to, and I actually didn't know this, but North Carolina has like one of the best recreational therapy programs like in the country or something. My professor told me that. She said that she literally came from like a couple of states over just to teach at that school in that program because it was like that good of a program. So I didn't even know that until my senior year. A lot of these are pretty similar to each other and like pretty repetitive. I've already touched on like meeting people. I don't really know. Okay, so that's pretty much all the advice that I have. This video was probably really all over the place. I'm really sorry. I'm like kind of stressed out right now because I feel like it was a little bit all over the place and maybe a little bit hard to follow, but I'm really sorry if it was. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe, and y'all are gonna do great in college. Don't stress about it. I'm here anytime you need me. DM me. I got you. I'll be praying for y'all. So I hope this video helped you guys a little bit, and if you guys have any other questions, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys.